John Dee was a mathematical magician. But that sentence only makes sense if we stop hearing mathematics in modern narrow sense. Not only calculation, not only numbers on a page, not only geometry as measurement, and not magic as superstition, theater, or a collection of strange rituals. For John Dee, mathematics belonged to something wider. It was a way of reading order, a way of seeing how number, form, celestial influence, material objects, and the human soul could belong to one system. That is why John Dee is often misunderstood. If you look at him only as a scholar, you miss the magical logic. If you look at him only as a sorcerer, you miss the structure. And if you separate his mathematics from his occult philosophy, you break the very thing that made his mind so important. The correction is simple. John Dee was not a mathematical magician because he placed numbers beside magic. He was a mathematical magician because number, figure, and celestial motion made the hidden order of the world readable. A number was not just a quantity. A figure was not just a shape. A celestial movement was not just something happening in the sky. A seal was not just a drawing. Each of these belonged to a chain. And in that chain, something acts, something receives, and something becomes ordered. That is the key. Mathematical magic is not decoration. It is the art of arranging form so that hidden order can be recognized. Start with a simple object, a drawn circle on parchment. To the ordinary eye, it is only a line returning to itself, a shape, a diagram. But in older occult philosophy, that circle already does something. It sets a limit. It creates an inside and an outside. It gives form to relation. And behind that form stands number, proportion, measure, and order. So number becomes more than arithmetic. It becomes a language of structure. This is why the old magical mind cared so much about number, weight, measure, harmony, motion, and light. Those are not random words. They describe how things become ordered. Number gives ratio. Weight gives balance. Measure gives limit. Harmony gives agreement. Motion gives direction. Light gives revelation. Together, they describe a universe that can be read, not guessed. Read through measure. And that is where John Dee belongs. He stands in a world where the magician is not simply someone who believes in hidden powers. The magician is someone who studies the conditions under which powers act. That difference matters. Because without condition, magic becomes fantasy. With condition, it becomes a system. A planet may influence, but influence is not enough. Something must receive it, a material, a time, a form, a symbol, a prepared object, a focused operator, a seal, a figure, a character, a word, a number. The operation is not just the sky sends force. The operation is more precise. A celestial influence moves through a relation. That relation is marked by correspondence. The correspondence is fixed into form. The form is received by matter, and matter becomes an instrument. This is why geometry matters. Geometry is not just drawing circles and triangles. Geometry is form disciplined by measure. A circle is not only a pretty shape, it sets a boundary. It gathers, it encloses, it separates inside from outside. A triangle is not only three lines, it creates direction. It creates relation between 3 points. A square fixes. A cross divides and joins. A line connects. A point anchors. In mathematical magic, these forms are not ornaments. They are ways of making relation visible. And once relation becomes visible, the operator can work with it. Only in that kind of world does John Dee make sense. He is not standing between mathematics and magic. He is standing at their meeting point. Because for him, geometry, astrology, and number are not 3 separate studies. Geometry gives form. Astrology gives celestial condition. Number gives proportion and hidden order. Together, they become a method of reading. This is why the image of John Dee as only a sorcerer is too weak. It reduces him to strange stories, crystals, spirits, secret conversations, alchemical rumors. But that is not enough. Those things may belong to his reputation, but they do not explain the engine underneath. The engine is mathematical magic. The question is not whether John Dee believed strange things. The sharper question is this: what kind of world makes mathematics, astrology, geometry, and magic part of the same discipline? And the answer is an ordered world. A world where visible things are not isolated. A plant is not only a plant. A stone is not only a stone. A planet is not only a distant light. A figure is not only a drawing. Each thing stands inside a hierarchy of qualities, virtues, sympathies, antipathies, and influences. To read that hierarchy, you need more than emotion. You need form. You need proportion. You need timing. You need names. You need signs. You need a way to recognize when one level of reality corresponds to another. This is the real meaning of Dee as a mathematical magician. Mathematics becomes the grammar of correspondence. It tells the mind how things can fit, not because anything can mean anything. That is the weak version. That is where symbolism becomes fog. The stronger version is stricter. A symbol must be ordered. A figure must be constructed. A number must belong to a relation. A timing must fit the influence. A material must be capable of receiving. An operator must know what is being arranged. Without that, the work collapses into imagination. With that, the work becomes occult philosophy. This is also why astrology must be handled carefully. In the older magical view, the stars and planets are not simply masters controlling human beings. That is too crude. If the sky directly commanded every action, there would be no real art. There would only be submission. But celestial influence is not the same as fatal control. Influence shapes conditions. It marks pressures. It gives timing. It shows qualities moving through the world. A wise operator does not blame the sky. He reads it. That is the difference. Crude astrology makes the soul passive. A more disciplined astrology makes the order of things clearer. For John Dee, the heavens are not a machine of excuses. They are part of a larger architecture, a moving order, a set of measures, a celestial geometry. This is where astrology and mathematics meet. The sky moves, the planets form angles. The lights rise, set, approach, separate, and return. Motion becomes pattern. Pattern becomes time. Time becomes condition. And condition matters because magical work is never only about the object. It is about the right relation between object, form, influence, and intention. Think of a talisman or a seal drawn for a precise celestial condition. A weak modern reading might say, it is meaningful because someone believes in it. But the older magical reading is more exact. A talisman is a constructed meeting point for influence, form, matter, and intention. It has material. The material has qualities. It has a figure. The figure has form. It has a number. The number gives proportion. It has a celestial relation. The celestial relation gives timing and influence. It has words or characters. Those direct and fix the operation. And it has an operator. The operator brings attention, intention, and preparation. The object is not merely symbolic. It is arranged. That word is essential. Arranged. Magic in this frame is not random mystery. It is arranged relation. John Dee's mathematics matters because arrangement needs measure. Without measure, the seal is only a mark. Without relation, the number is only a count. Without celestial condition, astrology becomes vague prediction. Without form, influence has no vessel. Without the operator, the system has no point of application. This is why mathematical magic can sound strange at first, but becomes very clear once the mechanism is seen. A celestial influence acts. A number, a word, a figure, or a form gives it structure. A material, a seal, a crystal, or a prepared object receives it. Correspondence, sympathy, proportion, timing, and hierarchy connect the levels. The hour, the arrangement, the measure, and the suitability of the material condition the operation. And the expected effect is never vague. Fixation, revelation, attraction, protection, transformation, knowledge, order. This is the operative skeleton. And it is why John Dee should not be flattened into either scholar or magician. He is both only because the older system does not separate them the way we do. The scholar studies order. The magician applies order. The mathematician measures relation. The astrologer reads celestial timing. The occult philosopher asks what hidden virtues move beneath visible things. In Dee, these roles do not cancel each other. They reinforce each other. This is also why Edward Kelly matters, but only as a secondary figure for this video. Kelly belongs more strongly to the alchemical and visionary side of the story. Dee belongs more strongly to the ordering mind. That does not mean one is rational and the other irrational. It means their roles can be read differently. Kelly appears close to the received secret, the alchemical disclosure, the dramatic claim of projection. Dee appears as the one who records, structures, compares, calculates, and seeks intelligible order. That contrast is useful because it shows the difference between receiving a result and understanding a method. To possess a powder is not the same as knowing how to make it. To witness an operation is not the same as mastering the principles behind it. To see a symbol is not the same as understanding the order that gives it force. And this is exactly why the mathematical side of Dee matters. It protects the subject from becoming only a story of wonders. The wonder is secondary. The method comes first. The hidden order comes first. The ability to read relation comes first. This brings us back to the central sentence. John Dee was a mathematical magician. This does not mean he reduced magic to calculation. It means he saw calculation, proportion, geometry, and astrology as instruments of occult philosophy. Mathematics did not remove mystery. It made mystery structured. It gave the invisible a pattern. It gave influence a diagram. It gave the celestial world a way to touch material form. It gave the operator a way to ask, what is acting here? What receives it? What relation joins them? What condition makes the operation possible? And what effect is being sought? That is the heart of the matter. John Dee's magic is not best understood through spectacle. It is best understood through order, number, measure, geometry, celestial timing, seals, characters, tables, correspondences, not as scattered curiosities, as parts of one method, a method for reading the hidden architecture of the world. So if one sentence has to remain, let it be this. For John Dee, mathematics was not only calculation, it was a way to read the hidden order through which celestial influence, material form, and magical operation could meet. That is why he was not just an Elizabethan sorcerer, not just a scholar, not just an astrologer, not just a name attached to crystals and spirits. John Dee was a mathematical magician because he belonged to a world where number could become form could become a seal could become a vessel, and a vessel could receive an influence. In that world, mathematics was not outside magic. It was the key that made magical order intelligible.